unpacking, decoding, demystifying down the fascination with Wonder Woman. Let's talk about it, shall we? I'm Cheryl Muir, relationship expert, relationship whisperer, helping you to stop dating losers and find love. And this is the latest installment of Relationship Expert Reacts, where I break down some of the psychology and background between some of our favorite characters in film and TV. I've been meaning to do this about Wonder Woman for quite some time. You know, I did a series on, did an analysis on the Loki series, and when that was airing on Disney Plus. But I want to really look at Wonder Woman and why it is specifically from the perspective woman to woman. You know, why is it women are really drawn to this character? So what we're going to be talking about today, it's not some of the obvious things like Gal Gadot being beautiful, though it's worth stating that is an undeniable fact. I don't think there's a human on this planet or any indeed creature in this realm that would disagree with that. But we're not really talking about attraction as such. We're talking about why it is we as women are really drawn to this character and why we perhaps see ourselves in her, why we like to dress as her, wear t-shirts with the logo on. Why is that? What I'm going to be talking about specifically is the interpretation we saw on screen, directed by the brilliant Patty Jenkins. So I'm going to be focusing on the 2017 Wonder Woman movie and possibly some of what we saw in 1984 as well, which screened last year. I saw it in December of 2020. So that's the version, the iteration of Wonder Woman I'm going to be speaking to, because that seems like the most recent. I don't want to say the most iconic, but certainly a powerful image that we all have in our minds, and certainly the most modern cinematic depiction we've seen of this character. So I have 5 points I'm going to cover. I know it's usually 4. We have 5 today. Oh my God, what a treat. And the first point is this. It's a story of a woman discovering and then embodying her own power, right? She doesn't know, by the way, there'll be spoilers throughout, so if you haven't seen the films, this is probably not the video to watch. She doesn't know she's a demigoddess. She's got no idea. She's fighting, right? She's training. She does the old Wonder Woman arm thing and knocks down in therapy and doesn't know. She doesn't know her own strength. It's this young woman with quite a vulnerability and almost an innocence of the world. She's been sheltered in this beautiful island of Themyscira, but she doesn't know her own power. And we see her go on this journey to take down this god, right? Only a god can kill another god. That's not the god killer, Diana, you are, right? Item, this isn't the thing. You're the power. It's not these things outside of you. It's not the candles and the crystals and the affirmations. It's you. The power is you. You're the power, right? It's saying my connection is unstable. I've got it hardwired in. We're just going to continue on, and whatever comes through will come through. What we also see with this character is she has this real mix, this real blend of strength, and she is very strong, and compassion, strength and heart, toughness and vulnerability. That those characteristics alone would be beautiful, but because they're together and they're so, on the one hand, diametrically opposed, but also very complementary, we see this really well-rounded person. Well, she's not a person, she's a goddess, but we see this well-rounded individual who has both of these things simultaneously. You wouldn't want to cross her, she'd kick your ass. But she has this depth of compassion, of wanting to do the right thing. And isn't that an example really of how we all want to be, right? All of us that are drawn to this character, we're seeing something in her. Which leads me to point number 3. It's an example of what's possible for us. Now, stay with me here. Stay with me. She is the highest and best version of herself. Now, I'm talking really about the character. I could also talk about the actress who's playing her. This is someone who's at the highest level they can be at. And so we see that and we recognize it. If that wasn't possible for us, if that wasn't something we desired, we wouldn't even be able to see it. Right? So what is it about this character, about this archetype, about this ascended master, if you like? Diana is a goddess. She's in, if you have any goddess oracle card decks, Diana comes up again and again. She's a warrior, you know, dark hair, tied back, plaited, bow, the whole bit. Very similar to what we see in Wonder Woman. It's ultimately from the same mythology. But yeah, what is it about her, about this archetype that you admire? Journal that out, write it out. Just like think about it or watch this and then move on with your life. Actually journal it out. The qualities I admire in her are, journal it out, strength, power, dedication, devotion, strength, like physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength. Journal out the things that you admire, and then ask yourself, which of those do I want? And circle the qualities that you want to have. I'm guessing you're probably going to circle all of them. I know, because I did this activity recently, not for this particular person, but for someone else, right? So we see and admire these qualities, action of the greatness that's possible. Now, here's a story you didn't ask for, but that I'm going to deliver anyway. For the past 6 to 8 weeks, I've really lost count now. I could look at my app because I've tracked it. I've been doing the Wonder Woman workout 5 or 6 days a week, mostly 6 days a week, sometimes 5, for the past 6 to 8 weeks. It's not easy. It's the workout that her stunt double did, and I'm so sorry I don't remember her name, but I saw it in a video, in a YouTube video, and I took on that workout and I did it for the past 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, I don't want to be like knob and like just like show my shoulders off, but like I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. I mean, I've never seen my arms look like this. Like, what is going on? I feel like I need a shield and like a Wonder Woman moment, you know? And I don't mean to be that person that's flexing on camera, but I'm also like, at the same time, I'm really happy with how this all turned out. I've been working really hard and I've got really, really strong. So the point in my slight moment of vanity there is to say that if you're seeing a character that's, you know, in incredible physical shape, do you want to maybe look at, well, what did they do to get into that shape? How does it feel to be really, really strong, right? Now, that being said, I do feel a little bit like bloatington today because of where I'm at in my cycle. But the point is, I feel strong, right? I feel really good within my own body. I feel like I didn't know I could actually commit to a routine like that and do that every day, 5, 6 days a week for 6 to 8 weeks and really commit to it. The amount of times I felt like doing that workout were slim to none, but I did it and I committed to it. So what is it then that you're seeing within this person that maybe you want to implement into your own life, and how can you challenge yourself to do that? Right? I know that's maybe a little hard and a little edgy, but that's how I feel about it. Point number 4, the empowered feminine. She is the empowered feminine. So you know how I did the analysis of Loki Laufsen, Loki Odinson from the Disney Plus series. And I also talked about his archetype in the Avengers, which is very much like the dark masculine. This is the exact opposite. This is the empowered feminine, right? The evolved feminine, the radiant feminine. She has this goddess energy, this goddess coding, this radiance that we see and we recognize because we know that we're heading in that direction. This isn't about how we look, incidentally. It's not about how we look. It's about how we feel. And that radiance is really turning on the light of your soul. Like, imagine a dial around your solar plexus, turning it up, turning it up, turning it up, and feeling the radiance and the light shine through you. It's the light of your soul. It's got nothing to do with what you look like. Gal Gadot is what, like 5'10" or something, like Amazonian tall lady. I'm like 5'2". So it's not a physical thing. It's your radiance. It's your radiance. It's your magnetism. It's how fully you've allowed yourself to be your best self, right? Your light helps others to rise. Do you think if that actress half-assed the training and gone, oh yeah, I'll be a little bit less radiant. I'll just be a little bit less radiant because some people might not like it. No. Just like that phrase, the sun doesn't give a fuck if it blinds you. Gal Gadot is not concerned whether you're looking at the screen going, she's so radiant, I almost can't look at her. She's not concerned about that, right? And look how radiant and loving she is, right? What I think is really interesting is that actress is that character. Like, she has the embodiment of that energy, right? 5th and final point is mythical backstory. There's this mythical backstory of being from this land with this tribe of women from this ancient land that is about compassion and strength and all of these values and honor and devotion and dedication. Did we have a community like that at one time? Will we have that in the future? I don't have the answers. I'm just asking the questions. But isn't it interesting that we find ourselves drawn to this, mythical land when actually there's something in there, I think, about how we can be operating as a collective of people, right? They've got a really good setup there in Themyscira. It's a really good setup, apart from the fact there's no men, it's all women. It's a good setup. It's a good life. They're living in harmony with the land. They're using their bodies. They're not sat there scrolling on the Instagram machine in bed. There's something about it that's quite advanced and conscious, and that feels like it's in a place that's above where we are or forward from we are, either in time or in vibration and awareness. But there's also something about it that feels quite historic. It feels quite historic, like it's something that's already happened. The way they dress seems very almost Greek and Roman. So there's this marriage, I suppose, again, with the kind of juxtaposition. There's this marriage of history and future and possibility and nostalgia. It's all those things together. So we have the story of a woman discovering and embodying her own power, which is our story, isn't it? Is that not all our journeys? The hero's journey, the heroine's journey, discovering how powerful you are. We are powerful. We're also powerful. Having that mix of strength and compassion, even though they might feel diametrically opposed, they're actually in complete harmony, and they need to be. We then talked about the example of what's possible for us, and this example of it being our highest and best version of ourselves. We talked about the empowered feminine, goddess energy and radiance, and turning up the light on your soul, and having this coding of the goddess. And we talked about the mythical backstory in this land of Themyscira, and how it feels familiar to us, and at the same time nostalgic and also hopeful, and has a forward leading energy. Like this could be where we could go in the future, in terms of, it might not look like that, it might not be quite so magical, but in terms of how they commune with each other and with the land. Is that something we need to move towards? Maybe we do. I feel a real affinity for this character, a real connection to her. Do you? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite thing is about this character, and if there's anything that I said that really resonated with you, let me know. Every year, the day before my birthday, I'm reminded of something. My birthday is May the 1st. And Gal Gadot's birthday is April the 30th. And every day before my birthday on Twitter, Gal Gadot's birthday is trending. Or at least it has been for the past 4 years, since 2017. And she was born the same year as me, 1985. So I looked up her birth chart, and I have a very similar birth chart. And so when I look at, for astrology fans, if any of you are astrology fans, my sun, moon, rising, my Mars, my Gemini, my Venus and Mercury and North Node and South Node are all in the same signs, in the same planets as, in the same signs as Gal Gadot. Fun fact. So I feel like I have a good handle on what that energy is, but what's really, really interesting to me is I can see what the highest expression of that looks like. And I feel like that's a real privilege to be able to see how she's expressed a very similar birth chart. I mean, I'm sure the houses are different and the angles and the degrees and everything, and it's not identical, but it's pretty similar. She was born in a different place, but she was born within 24 hours of when I was born. And so to be able to see that energetic template laid out in such a high expression, I feel quite emotional saying that, but it gives me a real example of that's the direction you should be heading in. It doesn't have to look exactly like that, but that's an example of what that can look like. And there's something about that I find very aspirational and very encouraging. And whether or not you resonate with what I've just said, there is something about these characters that feel very uplifting. I think what is also the case is that sometimes they take the truth and they put it in film and they call it fiction. I was watching Doctor Strange a couple of weeks ago, the first film. I hadn't seen it, The Quantum, So often when we are seeing something in film that's fiction, sometimes there's some truth there as well, some quite profound truths, if we allow ourselves to peel back the layers and say, well, this feels familiar to me. So something to think about. I hope this was interesting, enlightening, helpful, entertaining, whatever it might have been for you. If you want more from me, you can subscribe to the channel here, ring the bell to be notified when we go live or when I have a new video. I also have a brand new series called Real Relationships. The first episode drops tomorrow. The trailer dropped yesterday. And just now, just before I recorded this video live, I spoke to our guest for episode 3. So we've got some really good stuff coming up here. So I hope you'll subscribe and stay with us. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you took away from it. I absolutely live for your interaction and your commentary and your feedback. So I would love to hear from you below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.